Hey guys, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel. Now, I have sensitive skin, which means, irritation can happen with me. I am no stranger to irritated skin. And in fact, I actually had some pretty irritated and inflamed skin just a few days ago. And I was like, what is going on? What happened? So I kind of had some skincare know-how, right? I went back, I tried to figure out what was causing the problem, and then I adapted my skincare routine to help heal and solve the problem. And you guys, you know what? My skin bounced back super quickly. It feels so good, so healthy right now, and I'm super happy. And I was like, this needs to be a video because this could help so many people who are also suffering from irritation. So today's video is all about bouncing back from irritated skin quickly. I'm going to talk about how to tell if your skin is irritated. I'm also going to talk about how to sort of narrow down what could be causing your irritation. And then I'm going to share with you the routine that I use to get my skin to bounce back quickly. So if you guys are so ready to start the video, give it a big thumbs up and let's do it. So let's talk about the signs of irritation on your skin. Definitely an increase in dehydration, that really kind of dry and tight feeling. Even if you have a lot of oil on your skin, a dry and tight feeling underneath. Another one is that your skin actually kind of feels tender at the surface. I actually always sleep with an eye mask on over my eyes. And even just the little, it's so gentle, it's so soft on my skin, but for whatever reason, my skin was just feeling so irritated that I actually just felt minor discomfort where the eye mask was sitting, which was definitely not something that has occurred before. So it just definitely felt really tender. Another big sign is redness. Increase in redness can definitely be a sign of irritation. And really the final straw where I was like, okay, something's not right here is I was actually getting some inflamed breakouts and pimples. I was getting a big lump on my forehead, kind of a big underneath the skin kind of lump, which is not my normal kind of pimple that I would get. So that's a big sign too, if it's something that doesn't normally occur on your skin. I also got a big lump around my nose area, and I was like, this isn't how my skin normally breaks out. So figuring out that your skin is feeling irritated isn't really the hard part, right? Figuring out what caused it in the first place, that's the trickiest part of this. And that's really something that you do need to really find out the root cause of your irritation, because that is going to help you decide how you're going to treat the irritation. So this is super important. And for me recently, there was a lot of different suspects to the cause of this irritation, because the first one is weather. Where I live here in the Midwest, this is the time, early November, where it starts to get really cold, and it really starts to become the season where snow can happen at any time. Dry and cold temperatures 100% affect my skin. However, the temperatures themselves have been fairly mild for the season, and I just really feel like my skincare routine is very hydrating. It's very nourishing. I've already changed over my moisturizer and stuff. I have my eye on the prize for keeping the dryness at bay already, so it just didn't quite seem like it was the most likely candidate. Now, another potential cause of skin irritation: lifestyle, stress levels, definitely. Lack of sleep. Believe it or not, that can increase the inflammation levels on your skin and in other parts of your body too. Sometimes when you get nervous or you're really worried about something, you get a stomach ache. I mean, that's a really good example of how stress can affect your body, and it 100% can show up on your skin. 2020 and stress for all of us, our skin and our inflammation in our bodies definitely very high recently. So this is definitely a candidate for what caused my skin irritation. And of course, something else that you need to consider as a cause of your irritation is your skincare products. If you have added anything new into your routine, that's where we want to look first. And really, anything you've added into your routine in the last 2 to 3 weeks is what you want to look at, because sometimes irritation doesn't happen on the first or second use of a product. Sometimes it actually it almost in a way builds up over time on your skin. So you do want to kind of think about this a little bit with a wider sort of like range of time than just the first couple of uses. So with me and my irritated skin recently, I did add in a new product. Surprise, I'm somebody who tests a lot of skincare. I'm trying new products a lot. This particular product, you know, this was a toner that used niacinamide, arbutin, and a little bit of vitamin C. Now, toners are going to be really watery, diluted products. So they're containing these ingredients at, you know, lower percentages, something that should be just fine for my skin. Ingredients I've used in the past with success. And this is a product that I was using for about 2 weeks before I realized that this probably wasn't a good match for my skin. Not because the ingredients themselves are bad for my skin. It just wasn't a really good match because I am using a really strong tretinoin prescription currently on my skin. And so it did take me like a hot second to figure that out because, like I said, you know, you can use this 3, 4, 5 times, and if your skin feels fine, it feels great, and then all of a sudden it doesn't. You're like, wait a second, was it that product? Most likely it was, and in my case, it was. This was the offending product. If you figured out that your irritation is caused by a specific product or an ingredient in your skincare routine, get it out of there. Bye, Felicia. We don't need you anymore. If you're kind of like thinking, maybe it's this product, I'm not 100% convinced, but maybe it is, just stop using it. This is the fastest way to figure this out, because if you stop using that product, even for like just a few days, and your irritation improves, or maybe you were getting a lot of inflamed pimples and they'll start to go away, but new ones aren't popping up with just a few days of not using that well, there you go. You know, there's your confirmation right there. So whenever you're in doubt, just stop using the product. Pay attention to the period of time you're not using it and see if your skin improves. So no matter what is causing your irritation, if it's environmental, stress, or product related, you definitely need to treat your skin kindly during this period of irritation. It's going to allow you to bounce back a lot faster. Which means, this is going to sound super familiar to those of you who have followed my moisture barrier repair videos. The advice is very similar. Stop using your chemical exfoliants. You just want to stop using any products that could potentially make your irritation worse at this time. I personally skipped out on my tretinoin prescription for a few days just to kind of let my skin just kind of breathe a little bit, kind of just give it like a nice neutral space to just heal up. And then I just got right back onto my prescription, no problem, when my skin was feeling stronger. You just really want to focus in your products on hydrating your skin, moisturizing and protecting your skin, and really start to target, you know, if you do have a couple of different options in your skincare routine, start to target ingredients that are anti-inflammatory. Mugwort, centella, propolis. These are actually really great ingredients to help calm down and soothe the skin and really help it to heal up faster. So what did I do to heal my skin up so quickly? So now this is the time where I'm going to share the products and the skincare routine that I followed to get my skin to bounce back, because it really did get back to normal in about 3 days. Now that's super quick. That is not a guarantee that if you follow exactly what I say with exactly these, is that going to happen? I cannot guarantee that that's going to happen for you. Everybody's body responds differently. We have to understand that is so important. But I really hope that by sharing what I did for my skin, that'll give you guys some inspiration and a starting point and some tips and tricks to really help you along healing up your irritation as well. Okay, we're going to start off with cleansing. And as you know, this can be a really harsh process, especially if your skin is feeling really raw and irritated. And so it's best to go in with the most gentlest options you have. Now in the morning, I still just wash with water. That's what I always do. And it's actually a really good technique if you are feeling really raw and irritated on your skin. But it is the nighttime and I do want to go in for that really good cleanse, but I'm still going to keep it super gentle. So first I'm going to go in with oil cleanser. And I find most oil cleansers to be fairly gentle, but of course going for something without essential oils or fragrances or drying alcohols is probably a good idea. This is the Klairs Gentle Black Fresh Cleansing Oil. The name is so long and I keep getting confused, but this is the fragrance-free version of the Klairs Cleansing Oil. It's nice and light. It doesn't strip any moisture from the skin, and this is going to help remove the layer of sebum and sunscreen sunscreen and skincare layers and sweat that I have on my face right now. You know, you don't have to go for the really like squeaky clean kind of cleansers when your oil cleanser is doing the majority of the cleansing work, right? So I actually have two options that I rotate through, especially when my skin is feeling really irritated. And the first one is the Rovectin Skin Essentials Conditioning Cleanser. I really like this because it's a gel-based type of cleanser, so it feels like it's cleaning your skin really nicely. It feels really refreshing on the skin, but it is still low pH, fragrance free, and it doesn't leave my skin feeling dry and tight afterwards. So this is just a good like everyday type of cleanser. But I actually just want to really pack my routine with lots of comforting moisture actually, because my skin feels so dry, and in combination with the cold weather, it's just like a terrible thing. So I am actually going to opt today for the Sioris Cleanse Me Softly Milk Cleanser. You guys know I've been relying on this as my most gentle option. It's great because it actually feels like it leaves my skin just a little bit more moisturized, and that is really my goal with trying to heal my skin up. I'm just being super gentle. You know, it does leave a nice little layer of moisture on my skin, but it doesn't feel like it leaves like a thick, kind of like almost even like waxy type of layer, like a film on my skin. I don't feel that. It feels really light. So one product that I like crack the emergency glass on, right? Like use in emergencies, is the I'm From Honey mask. You know, I love this. I always have this on hand, and I really discovered that it is so beneficial for raw, irritated, and inflamed skin when I damage my moisture barrier. And that's really like the most extreme form of irritated skin, right? So I know this works so well for me to really calm and soothe my skin, and it really helps. You know, not only does it just infuse my skin with so much moisture, which just really relieves the irritated feeling on my skin, but because it's got a high amount of honey in it, it's such a wonderful anti-inflammation ingredient. It really helps bring down the inflammation and the redness. So it's not just giving like temporary relief, it's actually helping to work on some of the problems with your skin. And this mask has been helping so much, and it just, I mean, this is like going on like butter. You know, the secret I learned with this one to really maximize the benefits is to leave it on for a long period of time. You know, you can use this mask anywhere between 10 minutes all the way up to an hour. And the longer you wear it, the more moisturizing benefits you get and the more anti-inflammation benefits you get. So I like to leave this on as long as I possibly can. So this is definitely one you need the luxury of time for. But I'm going to allow this to stay on my skin probably about half an hour, 45 minutes. All right, we're back. And my favorite thing about this mask is it does not dry out at the top of your skin as you leave it on. So I can still like talk and move my cheeks without it feeling tight. It feels great. So I'm going to wash this off with some warm water. And this mask kind of can leave like a little filmy residue on the top of your skin, which isn't great, right? So I do like to use a warm washcloth on top of my skin. I do not rub it in. You want to be really gentle, especially if your skin is feeling really awful right now. I just gently glide it across my face, and that just breaks up the film. All right, and my skin looks a little bit more calmed down. It definitely feels a lot more calmed down. So now I'm just going to go in for my skincare routine, and of course I'm starting off with toner. I really have to replenish the hydration on my skin. So of course the Keep Cool and Soothe Bamboo Toner is really my choice because, you know, it's just served my skin so well. I know that it really deeply hydrates my skin, and I just put on usually like 3 or 4 layers until it just feels like my skin is satisfied with hydration. Just really kind of like listen into what your skin is telling you. If it's still feeling kind of thirsty right underneath, then just put on another layer of toner. There's really no magic number here. I usually hover around 3 to 4 layers. That seems to be what works for my skin, but I've definitely put on more and I've definitely put on less. And you know, I can't emphasize enough to just stick with the products you know. I chose the Keep Cool toner because it's a safe choice. You know, I've used it so long now that I know that it's going to suit my skin at an irritated time. You know, when my skin is feeling, there's like a piece of hair on my lip. When my skin is feeling so like irritated, I just know that it is a safe choice. And it's kind of like, you know, like when you're not feeling super well and you want comfort food, right? Like you want food that you know, that you grew up eating, that you know is going to treat your body well. And it just, not only do you know what it's going to do, you know that it makes you feel really good. And that's kind of how I feel about some of my favorite skincare products. It's like they're comfort food. And that's really what you need when your skin is irritated, is you just need what you know works, and what's going to make your skin feel great. So next I'm going in for the Laneige Cream Skin Refiner. Speaking of comfort food, right? Now I chose this because of a couple of things. Number one, my skin is irritated, red, raw, dry, dehydrated. And number two, it's actually cold and windy outside. So this is actually adding a really nice, wonderful layer of moisture into my routine. Another kind of logical choice for me would have been the I'm from Mugwort essence. And I have sometimes been using that. But I do feel like recently my skin is just really craving more moisturization. And it's just a really unique combination of like the current weather, which is kind of cold and dry and windy right now, where my skin kind of goes more on the dry side in the fall and winter time as well. I just know that about my skin. And my irritation is really showing up as like feeling very dry and dehydrated. So moisture seems to really be bringing a lot of comfort to my skin. So that's why I chose this particular one. It's a shot of moisture and comfort to my skin. And I'm just using it kind of like in my essence step. But if you want something a little bit lighter, I would suggest maybe an essence like the I'm from Mugwort essence or the Primera essence. If I had filmed this a couple of days earlier, like I had planned to, but I just didn't get around to it, you would have seen some pimples on my face. I had a big lump right here on my forehead, this like big inflamed, swollen under the skin pimple that was coming up. I had a pimple here, it popped, and then I had another kind of like under the skin lump here on my chin, but they have actually calmed down significantly because I used secret weapon number 2, Polyphenols and Propolis 15% Ampoule by Wishtrend. You know, I swear by this stuff to calm down pimples on my skin, but it actually is not a bad choice for irritated skin either, because it's got a really beautiful combination of anti-inflammation ingredients with propolis and H. cordata extract. Both have the ability to calm inflammation. And not only does that mean it's a great secret sauce recipe for calming pimples in a gentle way on your skin, but it also can calm the overall redness and inflammation and irritation on the skin. Plus, propolis itself has really good wound healing abilities. So not only did it help the lumps and bumps, right, that I was getting on my face, the pimple that popped here is healing up so much faster. You can hardly even see it. I'll have a little dark mark, but you can hardly even see it. It healed up so quickly, and I really do credit propolis because it is such a healing ingredient. Now, this formulation is a little bit of a lighter propolis kind of feeling. It's not super duper thick and gel-like and super moisturizing like some other propolis products, which actually makes it kind of a nice match with the Laneige Cream Skin Refiner, because it doesn't it's moisturizing, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't build up super thick on the skin. Now, if you've seen any routine for any concern on my skin that I've ever posted anywhere, you know, I'm like trolling myself right now. You know I'm using Stratia, right? The liquid gold and the Fortify oil. Of course I am. These are really just, they're not negotiable. This is just what I use every single day in my routine, and it's really part of keeping my moisture barrier really strong. I actually mix both together. So I put a little bit of oil and the liquid gold together, and I just mix it up on my hand. And this is, if you don't want to use something like liquid gold, which I'm kind of using like an emulsion step because I am going to finish off with moisturizer, you can use this tip with any of your favorite facial oils. Just put a couple drops into your moisturizer too. That's a great way to help the absorption of everything. Barrier care. You know, I really want to emphasize that at the end of this skincare routine, because I really do think that that is kind of the secret sauce. That is the key to getting your skin to bounce back quickly, because strong skin does bounce back quickly. Weak skin does not. And a lot of that comes down to the health of your moisture barrier. So, you know, I love it. I always talk about it. And you know, the Stratia products that I just showed you, you know, that's what I use. That is what I love. I know it works really well for my skin, but I also know it's not going to, you know, A, be available for everybody, and B, be the right choice. But what I want to emphasize is ceramides, cholesterol, fatty acids. Those are really the 3 key ingredients, especially when found together, right, that are really going to help keep your moisture barrier in good working order. So whether you use products like Stratia, like you supplement your routine, Or I think the easiest way to do it is with your moisturizer. That's just really the key takeaway here that I want you to think about. It's just like finding a slot in your routine for barrier care. And there's lots of great moisturizers with different weights and textures and all of that do contain ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids. But the one I've been choosing to use during this healing process is Pyunkang Ado Cream Blue Label. It's just the Pyunkang Cream. Now I really love this moisturizer. I discovered it a couple months ago and I really liked it when I used it. And I actually switched over to this a couple weeks ago with the changing temperatures and my skin really likes it. Now the texture, I've talked about this before. The texture is like a nice creamy texture and it's got like a butteriness to it, but it's not super thick. It's not super occlusive. For me, it's just the right amount. I think it's great. So this is great when my skin is leaning more on the dry side and feeling weak and feeling irritated. I put this on, my skin's just like, oh, it feels so good. It feels so good, so healing. So there you go, that's it. I mean, like I said, my skin is already feeling so much better. There was just so much persistent redness on my face and it's so calm now. It's so comfortable. It's so moisturized and plump. It feels really, really comfortable and it's feeling so much better. You know, this is my nighttime routine. I would say in the morning, just make sure to put on a sunscreen because, you know, prolonged exposure to the sun without protection can actually make that irritated and that feeling and that inflammation a lot worse on your skin. And I would also say if you're still feeling a lot of irritation, you know, especially when my skin first got irritated, it was like, ooh, it was just really nagging me. I actually just put Cica cream on top of my moisturizer. Especially you can just put it in the spots of irritation. So like around my mouth is where I put Cica cream. I didn't necessarily have to put it on my full face and it just works wonders. I love, you know, the Missha Near Skin Madecanol cream is great. And I also, you know, for people who like a little lighter texture, especially oily skin, the Skin and Lab Medicica cream has the same amount of like anti-irritation like properties to it, but it comes in a much lighter texture. It feels really great on the skin. So that's how I did it. That's how I healed up my skin. And I'm so happy I was able to do it quickly because there's nothing worse, that feeling on your skin. It's just, oh, your skin hurts. It feels so bad. It's crying out for help. And this is how I gave my skin help and it worked out really well. So what I really did was I figured out what caused my irritation and I got that offending skincare product out of my life. And I focused on hydrating my skin, moisturizing my skin, and I had a real focus on anti-inflammation ingredients. Plus I had a focus on my moisture barrier, making sure that that was working really healthily and that it was very strong so that my skin could bounce back faster. So I am always curious to know, what are your hints and tips and tricks and products to help your skin bounce back quickly? So let me know in the comment box below your hero products or methods for getting your irritation to go away fast. If the video did help you, but you haven't hit subscribe yet, like what are you doing? Please consider subscribing to my channel. I release 2 skincare focused videos every single week. So turn on the notifications, join the notification club. You will never be out of the loop when the new videos drop. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. You know, I'm always hoping that you are healthy, happy, and safe where you are, but I am going to ask that you consider kindness as well in this just insane time that we are going through. You know, practice a little bit of kindness in the world, not only to other people, to your fellow human beings, but also to yourself as well. As we get through the end of this unprecedented year, a little bit of kindness to ourselves, a little bit of self-care will really take us a long way. So be healthy, be happy, be safe, and be kind. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.